The word NFT gets thrown around like the word internet was back in the 80s and 90s. But just because you're hearing the word internet or NFT being thrown around doesn't mean that you actually understand what it is or why it's becoming so popular. Most people these days have no idea what an NFT is. And you may be watching this because you've heard of them, you have some understanding, but you want to learn a bit more about what they actually are. And a study from security.org found that only 2% of all Americans have either bought or sold an NFT. And the people that are running the study believe that people familiar with NFTs is actually a lot less than even their study suggests. They found that even with those who are familiar with NFTs, only a third could correctly define them, and more than 7 out of 10 Americans, that's over 70%, are either unfamiliar with NFTs or don't know their definition. In fact, 66% of the people surveyed had never even heard of an NFT before the survey. And if you were to poll the entire world, I suspect that the amount of people unfamiliar with NFTs is probably closer to 90%. So it's safe to say that NFTs are still a very new technology. Most people are unfamiliar with what they are and what their purpose is. And for people who have already bought and sold NFTs and have been around NFTs for a long while, it may seem childish to explain NFTs from the ground up using basic terms. But that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. I'll be discussing why they've risen in popularity so much, and also whether or not they're just a trend that is one day going to fade away. So for everybody watching that doesn't understand what NFTs are, including my wife, which is a big reason I'm making this video, I'm Devin Cook. Let's talk about NFTs, and welcome back to DevMoney. So let's first define what the word NFT even stands for to begin with. NFT stands for Non-Fungible Token, and I'm going to break down each word as simply as possible so that way we totally understand what it means. First up, the word non, pretty simple, it just means not. So an NFT is not a fungible token. Clear as mud? Perfect. Video over, thank you very much. No, just kidding. We still have a lot more stuff to talk about. Now what about the word fungible? That's a funny sounding word and probably one that not a lot of people are super familiar with. Here's the real wordy definition from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Fungible is being something such as money or a commodity of such a nature that one part or quantity may be replaced by another equal part or quantity in paying a debt or settling an account. Also, something that is fungible is capable of mutual substitution. And I find it helpful to think of synonyms for words to really help you understand them. And two great synonyms for fungible are substitutable and replaceable. So when you think fungible, think replaceable. Now you either totally understand that or you're still confused. So let's use an example that you use on an everyday basis of something that is fungible or replaceable. And that something is money. So if you were to have this $100 bill and I would have this $100 bill, what were to happen, what were to change if we were to just swap them? Well, nothing. Absolutely nothing. They're each $100 bills. They're each just as equally valid, or at least we'll pretend they're valid because really this is just fake prop money. But the real ones at least are each worth exactly the same amount as the other one. And the same goes for $1 bills, $5 bills, $10 bills, etc. You get the point. Well, what's another example of something that is fungible? Well, clothes are actually really fungible because I could go online and find a t-shirt that I like and order it just like people do every single day. And I'll pick this blue t-shirt, size small, and I'll place the order. And what's gonna happen once I do place that order? Well, someone in a warehouse somewhere is gonna go to the bucket of size small blue t-shirts and pick one out of the thousands that are in the bucket and ship it to my address. Now, does it matter which of the blue small t-shirts that I got out of that bucket? No, not at all, because they're all the same, they're all blue, they're all size small, they're all fungible, they're replaceable. It wouldn't matter which of the blue t-shirts I got as long as it was blue and it was size small, just like I ordered. So to recap, an NFT is something that is non-fungible or not replaceable. You still with me? Perfect. Now let's talk about the third part, the token aspect of NFT. And to understand the token part of NFTs, you really have to understand another word that you've probably heard being thrown around quite a bit these days: blockchain. So let's give this a crack by starting with another definition. The blockchain is a system in which a record of transactions made in Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency are maintained across several computers that are linked in a peer-to-peer network. So let's put this into terms that you're more familiar with. Say that you're hungry. So you head over to Taco Bell and you're gonna get a burrito. The burrito costs $3. So what do? You pull out your credit card and you swipe the credit card to pay Taco Bell the $3. And then what's happening in the background is when you swipe this credit card, you're sending a notification to your bank that says, hey, I wanna send $3 from my bank account to Taco Bell's bank account. And assuming you have enough money in your bank account, your bank will approve the transaction and send $3 from your account into Taco Bell's account. And this all happens extremely fast and most people don't even think about it. And then of course, whenever you want to, you can log into your bank account and see a record of all the transactions you've made in a given time, whether it's last week, last month, or whatever. Well, the blockchain works in the exact same way, except instead of having a bank record and approve transactions, you have a bunch of different people all throughout the world with a bunch of different different computers called miners, and these miners are approving and recording each cryptocurrency transactions that takes place, because each miner has a record of all the information on the blockchain, essentially a big database of information. This means that they have a record of each crypto wallet, their balance, and each transaction that they've made. This makes cryptocurrency extremely transparent because you can trace each transaction back to the owner, or at least the owner of the wallet who made that transaction. So let's fast forward to the future where you can buy Taco Bell with a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. That'll be cool, and it'll probably happen soon. So you go to get your burrito and you swipe your new Bitcoin card to pay the $3 equivalent of Bitcoin to Taco Bell. Well, when you swipe your card for this Bitcoin transaction, that transaction would then be sent to the blockchain, and then the miners would verify the transaction and verify your balance to make sure you actually have $3 worth of Bitcoin to send to Taco Bell. And once they verify that you do have the available funds, they'll approve the transaction, it'll be recorded on the blockchain, and your money will be sent to Taco Bell. And the reverse is also true. If they find that you don't have the money available to send to Taco Bell, your transaction will be declined and you won't be able to get your burrito. So that's very simply what the blockchain is and how it works. And each cryptocurrency on a blockchain is referred to as a token. So when you hear of cryptocurrency or token, just think of them really as interchangeable. So now we can simplify non-fungible token into non-replaceable crypto or non-replaceable token. And from our example earlier when we talked about $1 bill being equal to another dollar bill, the same is true for Bitcoins. Each Bitcoin is identical to another Bitcoin, and so if you had a Bitcoin and I had a Bitcoin, we could swap them and we would still have the same thing. But each NFT is unique, it's not replaceable, and it's one of a kind. So let's think about examples of things that are one of a kind or non-fungible in our everyday lives. The biggest example I think of is real estate, because each house and each property is completely unique from any other piece of real estate. Even if you have a builder that's just stamping out homes in a neighborhood and they all look exactly alike, they all have the same floor plan, they all have the same finishes. Each of those houses would still be on its own unique piece of land, and just that fact alone is enough to make each house, each property, each bundle of real estate unique and non-fungible. Another great example is art. The Mona Lisa is completely unique. It's a one of one. And other one-of-a-kind paintings by people like Leonardo da Vinci or Banksy or Michelangelo are much the same. They can't be replaced because there's not another piece of art that's exactly the same, not 100%. Even if you took a photo of the Mona Lisa and you completely replicated it 100% detail for detail to such a degree that not even a professional could tell the difference, it's still not the same. Sure, you could put it on the wall and say, hey guys, look, I got the Mona Lisa and it's fabulous and it's awesome, but it's still not the one that was painted by Leonardo da Vinci himself. So it's still not the same painting. It would really just be a picture of the picture by Leonardo da Vinci. So think of NFTs just like art and real estate. Each one is completely unique and cannot be replaced by another NFT. And because of the blockchain, each NFT can be traced back to the original creator, and all the transactions and everyone who buys it from that original creator can also be seen as well. But both of those examples that we use are physical examples. You can touch and feel both art and real estate. And what's unique and innovative about NFTs is that NFTs give you ownership of digital assets. So think about important government documents, art, of course, music, videos, etc. All of these can be turned into an NFT, which makes it completely unique and also gives ownership that can be traced. And nowadays, the NFTs are primarily used in the art, the digital art that is, and the collectible space, like sports cards. And a quote from this article that I really like says that one of the main benefits of owning a digital collectible versus a physical collectible, like a Pokemon card or a rare minted coin, is that each NFT contains distinguishing information that makes it both distinct from any other NFT and easily verifiable. And this makes the creation and circulation of fake collectibles pointless because each item can be traced back to the original issuer. There are lots of examples which you've probably seen before in the news of NFTs that are just selling for crazy sums of money, and I mean literal buckets of money. And one reason that's not super surprising to me is because we're already used to, as a society, art being sold for really expensive prices. So why would that be any different for digital art? For example, this CryptoPunk, which is one of the most popular NFT collections, sold for $7.58 million back in March and is now for sale for $127 million. Yeah, that's insane. And this NFT from Beeple sold for $69 million and currently holds the record for the most expensive NFT ever sold. And as a society, we've shown that we're willing to spend a lot of money to collect something that we feel has value, whether it's art, Pokemon cards, baseball cards, or some other type of collectible. And I think this interest in collectibles is really what's driving the NFT market right now. Because from 2017, when the CryptoPunks NFT collection was first launched, up through 2020, NFTs weren't very popular. But that really changed in late 2020 and into 2021 when their popularity just exploded. exploded. And much of their growth is fueled from our ever more digitized society. More and more people these days are concerned about their likes, their followers, their subscribers, and their blue checkmark that they have on their Instagram or Twitter. And none of these things provide instant value in the real world, but they do provide value in the digital world, which can then be leveraged in the real world. For example, how important is it for you to have a blue checkmark and 1 million followers on Instagram? To some people, admittedly, it's not worth anything. They don't care at all and they would rather not have it. But to a larger and larger group of people, those things are extremely important because a blue checkmark and 1 million subscribers on Instagram can be turned into opportunities that produce money, real money in the real world. And NFTs are just another way that our lives are becoming digital. All across Twitter, people are buying NFTs and you're seeing that they're using them as their profile pictures on Twitter. And in a way, they're really just buying something as a status symbol to show off to people. Because if you have a punk, an ape, or another popular NFT like Creatures, Cool Cats, VFriends, or Cryptodes as your profile picture, believe it or not, that's pretty cool in today's society. Now, what's keeping you from taking a photo or a screenshot of a CryptoPunk like I just did to put on your screen and saying that you own it? Well, the answer might surprise you because nothing really is keeping you from doing that. If you want to right now, you can go screenshot a photo of a CryptoPunk and use it on your Twitter profile. And everyone will think you're so cool because you have a CryptoPunk, or at least some people will. But Twitter is actively working on providing a verifying system for NFTs. And this would require you to verify the NFTs you own, and then you could only use those NFTs as your profile photo. Think about it this way. Can you print out a photo of the Mona Lisa, hang it on your wall, and then tell all of your friends and family, hey, look guys, I own the Mona Lisa. It's mine. No, nobody would believe you. They think you're crazy. Same thing if you tour Washington, D.C. and buy a replica of the Declaration of Independence. Just because you bought that replica, it looks exactly the same, and you hang it on your wall, does not mean you own or have the actual Declaration of Independence. You just have a copy. Or what if you drove to a fancy neighborhood, you got out of your car, stood in front of a big mansion, took a selfie and posted it on your Instagram, your Twitter, and your Facebook, and then said, hey everybody, check out my new house. And you're probably listening to that and thinking, well, that's dumb. Who would do that? And that's exactly my point. Just because you take a photo of something doesn't mean you own what that photo is or what's in it. And be aware, there are people who have taken CryptoPunks and other popular NFT projects, replicated them, and then tried to sell them as the originals. These are scams, and like all scams, they do work on people who aren't aware, and that's a sad thing. And that's part of the reason that people really need to educate themselves on NFTs before ever attempting to buy or sell one. And luckily with NFTs, there is a unique string of code embedded within each one, and it's recorded on the blockchain so that anyone who has internet access can then verify to see if it's original, how much it was sold for, how many times it's been sold, and who the original creator was. So as long as you have a basic understanding of NFTs, how they work, and can verify one, you shouldn't have to worry about getting scammed. And you want to know, are NFTs just a bubble? Are they just a fad? Are they just going to fade away into oblivion? Well, here are my thoughts on that. Personally, I don't think NFTs are going anywhere. I think they're here to stay, and I think they're going to be a major player in our digital world. I predict that 10 years from now, most people will be using NFTs to some degree in some form, just like most people use the internet. And with cryptocurrencies increasing in popularity and usability, and with Web 3.0, which will be a blockchain-based internet platform, NFTs are going to be an integral part of that. And for those of you who want to understand how NFTs are going to be implemented into the future and what role they're going to play that's outside of art and collectibles, don't worry, I made this video just for you on how the future of NFTs is not art. And I go through 7 different ways that NFTs can be used in the future. So thanks for watching, check out that video, and I'll see you in the next one.